everybody out there that's chilling on their day off. You know, you might be cooking, you might be cleaning, you might be working. You know, it don't even matter. You know, but if you're tuning in, it's because you looked at that title. If you lose it, you better know how to get it back. I'm trying to tell you now. You know, it's an art to bouncing back. And it's a lot of people don't realize that. You know, it take know-how. It take that willingness not to give up. And I think there's a lot of people out there that have allowed themselves to believe, since they can jump on social media, that that's just going to alleviate all their problems. Now, don't get it twisted. I love social media. I'm a social media connoisseur. I be lying like a fuck if I said I don't jump on and off every chance I get. But I try to use social media to my advantage as far as learning and trying to see what's going on at the moment, you know, because I'm outside of the loop. I don't go out too much. I don't be in the streets like I used to be at all. And I don't want to be, you know. So, you know, I use social media as a way to get the current events. You know what I mean? So, I just want to say that there's nothing wrong with jumping on social media. It's just that you gotta pick and choose, you know, what you decide to digest or intake, you know, intake. Because social media have you all over the place. If you don't know how to analyze and break it down and, you know, separate all the bullshit, that's just pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we doing.
Sometimes life serves you a beautiful autumn sunset, paired with the
And
song and great
the art of bouncing back is not
song comes to an end.
something that
On
you
Pandora.
can always learn, because a hustler
Pandora Plus.
isn't really what people try to make it out to be. You see what I'm saying? A hustler is someone that's crafty, someone that, you know, utilizes their resources as far as who they may know, what they can do. And not just that, a hustler is always thinking. You know, you gotta have things lined up in a way where you know what you capable of, and you can go directly to, it's like a move on a court. You know, if you can't make any other moves, you can do this to get buckets. And that's what you got to do. And a lot of people out there, they haven't developed a lot of know-how because they've been limited with social media, thinking that there's only one form of success. You see what I'm saying? So when you lose it, the art of bouncing back, when you see people that know how to do it, it's because they have will, they have fight, they have passion, and not only that, they have a creative way of utilizing themselves to get what they need. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't really understand how to do that, you know, because they don't know themselves. You know, they'll say that they're a hustler because they have a business or because they may have two jobs. You know, that's not what a hustler represents. A hustler is someone that, you know, finds a way by any means, and we're not talking about it has to be illegal. You know, a hustler or use his mind to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So, you better find a way. Like I said, if you lose it, you better find out how to get it back. It doesn't matter who up in here. You know what I mean? First of all, sometimes people come in the comments and I think they got to be bots. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to believe people are that dumb. I try my best not to, pass judgment until, a person shows me a particular set of characteristics. Then that's when I decide to judge. All the people that's in here, please like, subscribe. We're going to keep on coming live. And I already know that YouTube trying to block me because they already know this face. I done had thousands of subscribers before, and I was basically kicked off of YouTube for cyberbullying. They said when I was just giving out the information that I was coming across, and when I found out I was getting kicked off of YouTube, I just couldn't believe it because this was one way that I got an opportunity to talk to people that felt the same way I did, because it's very rare you come across people that actually understand you as a person. You know what I mean? Especially in this day and time, because there's too many people, that got these inflated egos, everybody think it's about them, so I just don't always fit in anymore because not only do people have these pretentious attitudes, it can end up physical if you're dealing with people that it's almost like people have bad intentions without even realizing that they have bad intentions because they already go in relationships with a form of control that they want to have over a person so that they're satisfied getting the attention or their needs met, however that may be. So that's why you gotta avoid certain people. Shout out to Heaven Thomas. And yeah, of course, I try not, see, while I'm online, I try to articulate myself the best way that I can, so I can bridge the gap, between the ratchet and the classy, the sophisticated and the sassy. You know what I mean? I try, but that the hood be pulling me, but the truth of the matter is, I know most people intelligent, it's just that as I get older, it's time for me to start finding better ways to communicate, which I've never had a problem communicating. It's just that that's the only way that you can actually, get people to understand where you're coming from, which, common sense isn't too common nowadays. So that's a toss up right there, even communicating, so I just want to say that. But at the same time, not to get off the topic, make sure that if you lose it, you have a way to get it back. If you're in a situation like, take your job, for example, if there's things taking place that you don't agree with and, you feel like you can do better on your own, have a backup plan. Make sure that you save money so that at least if something transpires, you have a nest egg so you could at least take some time to think for 2, 3, 4 months or more and figure out what you want to do. You know what I mean? And that comes with investing in you. It's a lot of people out here that I just can't understand how and why they work and play as much as they do, and they don't take the time out to put something to the side for themselves to make sure that at least if something went wrong, they have some time to think, a day, a week, a month. It's people out here right now that if they end up losing their job after they get that last check, they ain't gonna know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So you always gotta make sure, in my opinion, when you out here, putting in them 40, 50, 60 hours a week, you gotta put up, most people, in my opinion, they got to have $500-600 after they pay all their bills, and that's just my opinion. If you're not living beyond your means, because most people out here, they can survive. They just put themselves in situations that they shouldn't be in because they want to look like they're successful in a way, that is palatable for people outside of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. But you can't live like that. And don't get it fucked up. I like to spend dollar bills, y'all. Don't let me tell you something. You ain't talking to nobody that ain't spent no money. I'm just saying I make sure that I'm good on the back end. You know what I mean? And if you love this stream, Amanda, I love you. Make sure you share. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of young people out there that need to hear this, man. I'm Mr. Fuck Up. Not right now. Right now it's Mr. Redemption. Mr. AKA Get It Done. Mr. I ain't know you can make it happen. Yeah, yes, I can. You know what I'm saying? So, I want this to resonate because it's too many young people and there's too many people out there thinking they going through it alone or they doing it by themselves or, man, you know how many people out there broke? You know what I mean? You know how many people out there that don't know what they doing and they trying to figure it out? Huh? You ain't the only one. So that's the reason why I'm saying, it's time to start having a contingency plan. You dig what I mean? We can't keep on going off of who we think we are, who we think we know. Because the truth of the matter is, if we were who we thought we were, we would be where we want to be. And if we knew who we thought we knew, that'd be supporting us and helping us get where we try to fucking go. But that's not what's happening around this bitch. All of you, including me, got motherfuckers that they done known their whole life following them on social media and don't share their shit, don't comment on their shit, don't like their shit. You can start a business, it could be t-shirts, you could be selling water ices out this bitch. And guess what? Ain't nobody gonna come through and get a scoop. I bet you that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to always know how to bounce back. And once you learn the art of bouncing back, it'll never look like you fell off out this bitch because you'll have so many things going on. Even if you down and out, it's no telling when the motherfucking volcano gonna erupt because you constantly putting yourself in situations that may be beneficial for you because you're going into it as your genuine self. You know what I mean? And not just that, you know your ingenuity and how you solve problems is always going to put you in a position where you gonna always have an opportunity. And not just that. Like I always say, you got to keep God first. I think that's one of the number one reasons why I've always been able to stay afloat. I can't say that God let me drown, out here. I've been in the murky water. I've been around the sharks, and I've been in that, I done sunk, but I can't say God done let me drown. You know what I mean? Because for some odd apparent reason, God done always looked out for my dumb ass. I've always been in the fire, but then put in situations where I was able to see someone that may have been getting burnt more, and I have to say, there's a lot of things that for some odd apparent reason I avoided it, and I thank that God, and when I look at my life now, the only thing I can say is, and I know y'all done probably heard this, is just keep chucking, man. Because when you get to a certain point of the game, it ain't no point in even pulling back. Some people, they get 5 miles down the road and turn around. Fuck all that. You know what I mean? You might as well keep walking. I'm one of them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I was down fucking Georgetown one time. I was locked the fuck up. Yo, man, hit the like button, man. Share this shit, man. I was locked up down Georgetown. It's like they say it's like a level 3. They a goddamn lie. Them rednecks down that motherfucker, they hate. It's like life down that motherfucker, the way they be talking to you. They call you boy and all that. You know who they talking to? You know what I'm saying? And you young, but every time you talk slick, they find a way to get your ass. And then you don't want to play around with the COs because they'll have your shit. You will get some extra time. The time you get locked up is more time than you gonna get on the street. So you try your best to stay out the way. You know what I mean? When I pulled up down that motherfucker, they had niggas outside in the blistering cold. I'm talking about, nigga, it was ice all over the place, right? And we get out, and this motherfucking CO was just on my ass like the whole time I was down there. You know what I mean? Because I told them I was from the city. They was like, where you from? I was like, oh, from Wilmington, Delaware. They's like, oh, we got another one. We got a city boy up here. We gonna show them. So every now and again, they might say something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, who you talking to? Man, they had us one day. Take these motherfuckers. We had to go to work because it get boring as hell on that tier. You like, yo, if they ask you want work, you're like, hell yeah. On top of the fact that niggas be throwing cigarettes on the side of the road. You know what I mean? You can grab get the tobacco out the motherfucker. Y'all know. For those that know, y'all know. You know what I'm saying? So you get out because shit, you ain't gonna be cooped up in that motherfucker, and you get to see people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking shit, you know what I mean? They had me on the crew. I go out there and work with them. Tell me why, nigga. I told you, nigga. It was Mr. Frost out that motherfucker, And they got us out there working in some wet jackets and shit. These racist motherfuckers, man. They had us in some wet jackets out that bitch. So, we working and shit. And the point I'm trying to make about showing them up again and proving that you got that fight in you, you got that dog in you, and you're not going to just allow someone to spin their narrative, right? They took us to these, it was like these trailers that they needed tore down, right? And I can remember getting off the bus and I just was cool. I just wanted to get the fuck out of the fucking jail. They lied. That wasn't level 3, nigga. That was level 6, nigga. You couldn't go to sleep. They'd be fucking with you. You try to go to sleep, they'd come in there and shake the bunk. Niggas get caught. They had niggas outside taking bottle cap tops off the little things off out the cans. And then crushing the cans outside, nigga. It was a whole blizzard out that motherfucker. Woo, wind and shit, howling and shit, sound like a banshee out that bitch. And they'll still have you out there doing some old fraud shit. So what they wanted us to do is tear down this whole fucking trailer. I'm talking about with sledgehammers and shit, right? But before I got off the truck, I was just like, off the bus, I was like, yo, shit, I'm just trying to get the fuck outside. But I'm saying it when I'm walking, and the dude hear me, the CO, he like, yeah, let's see how much you gonna work when that cold hits you. Let me tell you something. When he said that, I made it my point to prove, not because my father, he been doing construction my whole life, you know what I mean, before I was born. So I've had the opportunity to be on sites and help men tear down shit. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to hit a structure, where to hit it, You know, shout out to Don Thomas. You know what I'm saying? And all the men that I grew up with, you know, like Mr. Mo and my cousin Charles, you know what I'm saying? And it's a couple people that I don't want to keep on lengthening the story, but it's some men out there, my Uncle Van, you know what I'm saying? Shit. You know what I mean? Get it done. So I learned some shit just watching and doing. You know, so I made it my motherfucking point to prove to this motherfucking cracker, like, yo, you don't know who you talking to. I'm not one of them. I didn't learn, you know what I'm saying? I know more than just crime. And that's the reason why I'm getting to this point, because you gotta know how to reinvent yourself. You gotta know how to use different. Let me get to the story. So I get out and I'm talking about, I'm tearing down walls. I mean, we literally ripped a trailer down to the floor. I'm talking about walls going, everything. And I'm talking about, nigga, you stand in the middle of it and you outside like that. And I'm talking about when he seen me out there and that steam was coming off my body and he heard other workers like, God damn, this nigga ripping boards off the floor. He ain't say nothing to me the rest of my motherfucking trip down there. I'm trying to tell you, he knew, and it wasn't about, you know, just proving a point. You know, yeah, the fuck it was. It was like, nigga, I got ancestral will, motherfucker. You know, I might be up in here, but you don't fucking know me. You know, it's like one time I was in this group, and I'm trying to tell y'all talking to a. I'm not perfect. I'm not no fucking guru. I get up here, you know, I try to articulate myself because I want to do better. And not just that, I'm not no dummy. God never made me that. You know what I mean? God only take care of fools and babies. I'm neither one of them. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to, I'm trying to be more like this. Just be myself, man. You know, I might be a nerd one minute, then you might see, you know what I'm saying? So y'all just stay with me. You know what I'm saying? So I was in this group and I got my all black on and shit because I had to go like every weekend. You know what I'm saying? After I got out of jail. You know what I'm saying? And I remember this lady asked us a question about how we view the world. And she asked us to write it down, and then she asked, it was probably about 15, 20 people in the group. Yeah, about 20. And she got to me. I said what I said. And this white woman looked at me and she said, this is the truth. This guy's not the truth. She said, do you know what? I'm gonna tell you the truth. She said, when I looked at you, I automatically stereotyped you. She said, I looked at you like you weren't any different than what I usually deal with when I see young men dressed like that. She said, but what you just said was profound. She said, I have never, and I would have never thought that I would have heard someone your age articulate themselves that way. And not only that, make me think about what you just said. She said you're brilliant. And that's one of the reasons why you got to know how to bounce back and get yourself out of situations that you probably put yourself in. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying if you lose it, you better know how to get it back. Because 9 times out of 10, if you lose it, you had a part to play in it. You know what I mean? Even to this degree, your ass shouldn't have probably went over there to begin with. You see what I'm saying? Because it might, yeah, you might have got treated wrong. Motherfuckers might have did you dirty. And you might have ended up witnessing betrayal and being backstabbed and someone trying to harm you and disrespect you. You might have been through that. You might have really dealt with evil. But 9 times out of 10, we felt that shit. But it's something about good people that think they're gonna rub off on evil people. And the truth of the matter is evil because it wanna be. We're not talking about people that's having some type of crisis, you know, or identity crisis. We're not talking about them type of people. We're not talking about, you know, a person that's trying to figure out where they want to go in life. We're not talking about that type of person. I'm talking about there are people out here that get satisfaction from mentally and physically abusing other people. And that's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? So when you put yourself, when you think, you make good decisions, it's less likely that you have to lose as much as you will when you don't, you know, prioritize planning, you know, working on your skills and staying in the game, man. You know, so that's all I wanted to say. I was gonna get some practice done, you know what I mean, and sit here and dribble for a little bit, but I end up talking, man. I end up running off at the mouth, and it just make me think, man. And then, you know, shout out to Amanda, you know, because you don't know how easy it is out here to fuck up, and there's too many people that are watching other people's lives thinking that they aren't valuable because they're not living like whoever makes them feel that way, you know, or you're getting that feeling because you're watching something and you're, you know, it makes you think that that's where you should be in life, you know. And I'm telling you, success is measured different by different people, different individuals. And success, you don't have to have, you know, a mansion. You don't have to have $1 million to be successful, you know. So if you can, just get that hustle on. Bring that hustle out, you know. Learn different ways to make money, you know. Network. Make sure you invest in yourself, you know. Take the time out every day to learn more about what you want to do, you know what I'm saying, while you work, and use your job as a way to fund your hustle, you know. Everybody's not going to make $100,000 a month on YouTube. Everybody not going to make $10,000 a month on TikTok, you know. And even if you did, I think that whatever skills you have, you should increase it by using social media to teach and help other people. You know what I mean? So whatever you into, you know, if you're like, you know, you see these investment channels, you see these construction channels, you see these art channels, you know, there are people out there that are giving the game away completely for free because they're doing what they love or doing what they enjoy, or they're doing something that may be beneficial to someone else, and they're taking that to social media, and social media is rewarding them for their hard work. You know what I mean? So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said before, man, I'm gonna keep on coming, you know, with these videos because I just think people need to see just a grounded individual still working on shit. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm out here, you know, grinding and hustling and staying afloat just like you. Now I will say this. I learned in my 20s to save money very well. You know, so when I got my 30s, I mean, I was always, you know, okay. And I think I might have been down once, you know, in my early 30s. But from then till now, I've always made sure to have a significant savings so that I could stay afloat, you know, if anything ever happened, you know. And that doesn't mean that shit can't disappear. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I've fell off, you know, a few times in my adult life. You know, it's just that I thank God for knowing how to bounce back. You know, I drive trucks. I mean, I'm a technician. I am a handyman to some degree. I can fix things. Depends on what it is, but with a manual, I'm smart enough to fix a lot of shit, honestly. You know, I draw, you know. I wanted to start giving away these here. Y'all check this out. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. This right here is my logo. You know, y'all tell me what y'all think about this. It's my logo right here. It's my Love at War logo. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. But yeah, y'all tell me what y'all think, man. It's my Love at War logo. And yes, I drew this. Yes, this is my idea. If you see this came out of my mind. It took me a year to create this logo. And the reason why it took a year is because I wanted people to see the logo and be able to think of the name. I wanted people to see the name and think of the logo. That's how I wanted it. You know, because a lot of people, they'll have a logo or a name, and when you see the logo or a name, it don't actually match, you know, the product. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted. I wanted, you know, and you see this is a heart that's upside down, it's cracked, it's Band-Aid on it, you know, it's a broken heart trying to stay together, you know what I'm saying, through all the bullshit. And then you have the spade, you know, the spade is, when they say spade is spade, it just is what it is. You know, the cold, hard truth, you know, and sometimes the heart can't deal with it, you know. God helped me, you know, with this. It just took a year for me to create this logo. And it didn't just come to me. I'm talking about, I have pictures, I still have the drawings, and I'm talking about I'll draw one day, that's not it. That's not it. You know, a week will go by, a month will go by, draw again, that's not it. And it just over time, that's why sometimes, you know, you need to put the pot on simmer. You know what I'm saying? You know, turn the heat down, you know. And this right here, like I said, spade is spade, it just is what it is, the whole hard truth. And then you got the clubs, you know, and then you got the diamonds. I created this in a form where if you put it together, it's a diamond. You know what I'm saying? As you can see. And the spade, the clubs and the diamonds and all that, the glitz, the glamour, you know, believing that the grass is greener on the other side, that's what usually puts us in a position where our heart ends up like this. You know, and the name of it is Love at War. You know what I mean? And you don't necessarily have to equate this to a relationship. You know, I'm talking about, this means if, you know, you could be trying to, you know, make the basketball team, you know, your passion, your love, sport, your love, you at war, you know, because that's what it is. It's not just a battle, it's a war when you're out here in this world with all this negativity and you're trying to get to your goal. You know, you try and get to the finish line. You know, it's a lot of distractions, it's a lot of hurdles, it's a lot of obstacles. It's a lot of people that's going to throw a bunch of different shit in your way, you know, and that's what the Love at War is. It's your love And that war is of negativity is the only thing that's gonna get you where you trying to go. You know, so that's what I wanted this to represent. You know what I mean? So please tell me what y'all think about the logo, as y'all can see. And yeah, man, I'm gonna keep on, you know, coming and checking y'all out and see what y'all talking about, man. I love y'all, man. Tell me what y'all think. If you happen to watch this video, tell me what you feel about the logo and what you think about, you know, what it represents. Love.